Hey everyone, Ben here. I have a message that came through. I think it's a really great message. You chose to move forward. Hecate came through with the idea of crossroads, barriers, walls, through to help through that transition. When I began, uh, Crow was calling. Then it continued to call, and what came through was the significance of the amount of calls in between each, and it was 9 to a T. 9 is a completion, end of a cycle. I felt the need to release something. I was taken to, like, my view was then, I was in a tundra and the snow was just blowing. It's obviously not a comfortable experience. It I felt trapped there. Where am I going to go? There's no sign of any relief anywhere. Then I saw a crow eating a carcass, which at that point we look at, the cycle of life. A cycle in general has ended. Uh, Earlier, I do this word of the day, quick little reading thing, and what came through was past makes present. So the cycle of life, the dead feeds the future or the living. When we're looking at that, it's a death and a rebirth. The old us cannot move forward in the new. That is very natural. Like we can't expect anything new if we stay the same. And leaving the old behind, choosing us, choosing growth to move forward isn't always comfortable. Obviously, the tundra wasn't very comfortable to be in. Uh, then I, this came through, and it'll make more sense a little bit later. It's like energy, currency, money, and this isn't focusing on money, but if it works for you, okay. But the easiest way I can explain energy is like currency, like money. Okay, how do you spend your money? You go to the store, you give something, you get something back. When we look at our energy as money, where is our energy going? What are we doing with it? Is it benefiting us? If we're just gambling and it's a really bad bet and we know we're going to lose it, we're just throwing our energy away. And we're hoping that we get something back. It's not like going to the store and say, I'm going to buy a banana and I'm going to physically get something back. What are we doing with our energy? Are we dumping it into something that we're getting nothing back from? Then the saying, the crow moved closer to its prey, came through. And what that means to me is we're a little hesitant to make this transition. We're putting our toes in, but we're a little afraid. Naturally, we're going into a new world. It's the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen. It's okay to be afraid. I get that. Then, like in my view, how do I explain this? So, like, my view from the ground up, like a line came up, and then it just like unfolded to a completely new world, a new experience. And the best way I can explain that is like back when I was a kid, there was this toy that you'd you'd put this disc in, I want to say, and you held it up to the light, and it was just a picture, and you'd push a button, and it would advance to the next image. And this is like exactly what it was like. And to be honest, like what I was viewing at first wasn't ugly looking. It was just so so. But once it cleared to the new image, it was beautiful. It was very vibrant. It was almost like if you look up a picture of the yellow brick road, it was very bright, beautiful. And looking at the yellow brick road, what are we doing? Self discovery, going towards our dreams and our goals. And this does all come together here once we get to the end. If it's not, which it's already flowing, cycle of life, death, and rebirth came through. This is the same idea. We're this is our old view, our old landscape, and now we are stepping into our new one. Obviously, today is the 21st, the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere, the longest day in the dark, or the least amount of sunlight. We have come to the bottom, and we are now going up. And then we did get into uh, this is looking at through our life, ups and downs. Of course, we just want to go up and ride that pony all the way. But we have to have ups and downs. We could look at this might be your lowest point. And obviously, of course, it's easy to say, well, the only way to go up is up, which is true. It really is. But what came through is, throughout life, we're still going to experience lows and ups. But what came through is that we're never going to go below our previous high. So, like if you thought about a stock chart, and that's going in the up way, it goes up and then it goes down, but that down never goes below its previous high. And then it just keeps, that's obviously if the stock is going up, which in this case, it's coming through that way. And what did come through is remember, where was that? Remember where you were before the previous high. So when we're going into this new life, this new world for us, and we go up and then we start to go down, and it's like, not again, why is this happening to me, X, Y, or Z? And we stop at our previous low. If you're down in the dumps and you're looking at it that way, look back and say, okay, I was really low, whatever that may look like to you in life. And when I got up, I felt like I was on top of the world because I was coming from nothing. And then I went up again. And I forgot about where I came from or what I went through. And now I'm going down and I think it's the end of the world, but I stopped where I was so happy before. Just remember that we're not going all the way down. I'm just going down a little bit. And I'm not saying this is going to happen, but in the future, it's natural to have these ups and downs. It's life. We're going to experience things. If it was perfect, we wouldn't be here. The whole point of coming here was to experience these things. And going back to my little quick word of the day reading, I did talk about a lot of that. Excuse me, when we came here to experience loss and lack and pain. How else could we experience that without living it? And we look at everybody else and say, oh, well, they got it so easy. Well, they might. But did they sign up to knock everything out of the park this time? Maybe not, Maybe they didn't experience, maybe they're going to have something much terrible happen, which is horrible to say. I'm not wishing that on anyone. When we get into that mindset of viewing everybody in a better place than ourselves, later in the reading, we see how you did take your power back and make a decision to make a huge change, to move forward and create that for yourself. The other thing that came through is to go where no one has previously gone before. This is, you're mustering up the courage or the decision to move forward, which would be where you've never been before. How could it be? Because if we look at our past, we are creating a completely new reality for ourselves. I did pull some cards here. The first card out was the Devil. Looking at whether this is physical addictions or self-imposed bondage, which could go, if it wasn't a physical addiction. And I'm not just talking about the hard stuff. I'm talking about where our energy, we're looking at our currency, our energy, where is that actually going? If it's going to just watching YouTube all day, is that benefiting us? If we were just there to learn something and we did that, now we're going to use that learning. We've made this decision to move forward. Maybe we're addicted to drugs or drinking or smoking, and we've chose to say, you know what, I'm done with this. My energy is going into this, which inevitably is a self-imposed bondage. We're giving it control over us. Now we're going to take our power back. We're going to use it however we see fit. The next card falls into line with that as well. This is the Magician reversed. Misuse of power, blocked potential, lack of focus. When we think about this, if we were giving all of our energy to an addiction, it's not just even something physical. It could be our thoughts, worrying, anxiety, whatever. Fear of being what we want to be. Fear of actually being happy, But misuse of power is where our energy is going. We're dumping it as something that is not moving us forward, lifting us up, benefiting us in some way. It's keeping us the same and comfortable, but we can't grow in comfort. Next card, the last card, would be the Eight of Cups, spiritual growth, walking away, letting it go, seeking the truth. This is this transition, whether this just happened recently or maybe today's the day. We've physically chose to move forward. We've let it go. We've said, hey, you know what? This isn't benefiting me at all. This isn't moving me forward. This is just holding me here. Whether this is something physical, a thought pattern, a relationship, we've chose to move forward. We've chose to be rebirthed. We've chose to let the old leave, create something new for ourselves. And this could be exactly what we want. And from there, we're just going to go up. Sure, there might be some lows here and there, but they're never going to be worse than the previous high. So with that, I don't think I'll ramble anymore. I think it's great. Congratulations. This is like true self-empowerment. And when we look at the alchemy and me touching on my previous message of, the past makes the present, whatever did take place in the past helped get you here. It served its purpose. And now you're ready to go forward. So have a great day. Thank you.